Blackstone Audiobooks presents The Return of the Soldier by Rebecca West. Chapter 1. "Ah, don't begin to fuss," wailed Kitty. "If a woman began to worry in these days because her husband hadn't written to her for a fortnight— Besides, if he'd been anywhere interesting, anywhere where the fighting was really hot, he'd have found some way of telling me instead of just leaving it as somewhere in France. He'll be all right." We were sitting in the nursery. I had not meant to enter it again after the child's death, but I had come suddenly on Kitty as she slipped the key into the lock, and had lingered to look in at the high room, so full of whiteness and clear colours, so unendurably gay and familiar, which is kept in all respects as though there were still a child in the house. It was the first lavish day of spring, and the sunlight was pouring through the tall arched windows and the flowered curtains so brightly that in the old days a fat fist would certainly have been raised to point out the new translucent glories of the rosebuds. It was lying in great pools on the blue cork floor and the soft rugs patterned with strange beasts, and it threw dancing beams that should have been gravely watched for hours on the white paint and the blue distempered walls. It fell on the rocking horse, which had been Chris's idea. It showed what a fine fellow he was and how tremendously dappled. It picked out Mary and her little lamb on the chintz ottoman. And along the mantelpiece, under the loved print of the snarling tiger, in attitudes that were at once angular and relaxed, as though they were ready for play at their master's pleasure, but found it hard to keep from drowsing in this warm weather, sat the teddy-bear and the chimpanzee and the woolly white dog and the black cat with the eyes that roll. Everything was there, except Oliver. I turned away so that I might not spy on Kitty revisiting her dead, but she called after me, "Come here, Jenny, I'm going to dry my hair." And when I looked again, I saw that her golden hair was all about her shoulders, and that she wore over her frock a little silken jacket trimmed with rosebuds. She looked so like a girl on a magazine cover that one expected to find a large sevenpence somewhere attached to her person. She had taken Nanny's big basket chair from its place by the high chair, and was pushing it over to the middle window. "I always come in here when Amory has washed my hair. It's the sunniest room in the house. I wish Chris wouldn't have it kept as a nursery when there's no chance." She sat down, swept her hair over the back of the chair into the sunlight, and held out to me her tortoise-shell hairbrush. "Give it a brush now and then, like a good soul. But be careful, tortoise snaps so."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?